Hey guys, I am back, and today we are looking at something new from Off Grid, and this came to me direct from Carrie at Off Grid, owner, designer, all-around cool dude. And I gotta tell you, I do not understand why Off Grid Knives doesn't have the same recognition and following as some of the more well-known companies. Their stuff is awesome. I love it. And today we're looking at the Viper. And this is really cool, really interesting, because it uses a steel that, I have not seen very often out there. One day I'm going to figure out what this shadow on the overhead lighting is. I think it's the camera itself, maybe? I don't know. But, all right, whatever. So, the Viper is awesome because, a little while ago, a year or two ago, Off Grid came out with one of my favorite EDC blades. It was originally called the Black Mamba. I think now they just call it the Mamba. This was a pre-production sample that he sent me to review and test out, and I have carried this thing. I love this thing. It's particularly high-end, though, in terms of materials, and I have always said that if this name had a different logo on there, maybe a little spider or a butterfly, this knife would be 3 times the price it is. It's already, a higher end knife with a pretty price tag on it. It's a little shy of about $200, but you get what you pay for with this knife. It is awesome. I love this knife. It is super. Anyway, but we're not here to talk about this knife. I'm just showing you this knife because you can see kind of the family lines in this knife when you look at that. This is much more affordable for a lot of people, and I think it is an amazing addition to the Off Grid stable, and I think that this is a knife that a lot of people are going to like. So you can see kind of, like I said, you see those sort of family lines there, aesthetically and everything. Slightly different blade shape, yeah. Well, not slightly. Very, different blade shape, but you can see a lot of the same features. But they are both very comfortable. One of the big differences is this is a full tie frame lock here. You've got G10 over steel liners and a liner lock. But whereas, M390, super steel and everything, this uses a really cool, not so much, new but not very much seen steel from Bowler called K110. Now, K110 actually technically fits into the D2 family of steels if you look at the chemical composition. However, and we're the D2 taters and the D2 taters. I know there are a lot of people, and to each their own, who do not like D2 steel for various reasons. But here's the thing about K110. It does technically fall into, because of chemical composition, into the D2 family, but if you were to take all the different formularies, of D2, this is one of the highest end of D2, and it's got an increased vanadium content. And I'm not going to go into I'm not going to bore you with the actual science, but it does not corrode, and it doesn't have the negative carbon properties that a standard vanilla D2 would have, but it has all of the toughness and edge retention properties that your standard D2 blade would have. So I'm not going to say it's the best of both worlds, because it is still a carbon-based steel, but it is a lot less prone to that corrosion issue that D2 has. So it's really cool stuff. And Bowler is an Austrian, steel manufacturer, and Bowler is a great name in steel. So obviously, I had to unbox this and check it out as soon as I got it. There are some cool features with this knife. It is a cool knife, and now now that I've kind of talked it up, and I really wanted to talk about the steel because it's a really cool steel. There are CRKT has used it, Steel Will has used it. Some big names have used this steel, and I'm glad that Off Grid has put something out. Now, this knife from Off Grid goes for about $70, which is less than half the price of the Mamba. And you're still getting one hell of a good knife. And again, if this knife had anybody else's, you know, logo and name, it would definitely go for more than this. But let's take a look at all the features here. So number one, you've got your bearings, comes dead center, perfect, has a left or right tip up deep carry clip, and it's got an interesting, so 3 screws keeping that clip on, and it's just kind of an interesting little, the clip is pretty firm, so, you know, yeah, it's going to need to break in, and it's going to be a little rough on your pocket because it's got great texturing for grip that we'll talk about in a little bit. But lefty and righty, no choice for tip up or tip down. It is tip up only, which is awesome for me. So, you know, about half amount of soup to go around. It has a safety lock for when it's open, if you so choose to use that. I love that it's optional, though. You know, it's not like some of those knives where it is, you will have a safety lock whether you want it or not. I hate that. Weight is pretty good. It's got a little bit of weight to it, just enough to know that it's in your hand. By the way, just to see how it comes packaged, yes, there was a cool sticker that comes with it and everything. I'm sorry I don't have it anymore. Comes in and very secure, nice foam little thing, and some literature. I have some other stuff from Off Grid to unbox soon, so you'll see that also. It comes in a, this is the tumbled blackwash blade. There's also satin finish. I really like this finish though. This finish is pretty nice. You can just barely see, it's like a blackwash tumbled finish. It comes out really nicely. The action on this is incredible. Just very, very nice. And that was a real half-assed flip, and it still made it. Lockup on here, very early. It is a pretty thin lock too, because it's just that thin little liner. So we'll do a lock test, but here's your safety feature. And keeps that open. I'm not sure. You know, I'll be honest. I've never really felt the need for these kinds of things. I've never had a problem with it. I'm sure there are people that appreciate them and use them. It's a nice feature to have. I don't particularly use it a lot, but it does, you know, actually precludes the need to do the lock test because you have that safety feature. So if you have it in there, there's no way that lock is going to fail. But there you go. It's a really nice EDC size blade. Now, it looks nice and almost mirror sharp finish out of the box. Of course, we have to, you know, put that through some paper testing. It is, you know, it's EDC size. It's not a larger, Off Grid has some hard use kind of knives. This is an EDC kind of knife. That's what it's built for. It's still, you know, I've carried this multiple times, and even though I have the big hands and it does sort of disappear in the hands, it's a very comfortable knife. And this is about the same size. It has, I mean, this milling on the G10 is very grippy. You know, if you're wearing bulky gloves, I'm not exactly sure, but just barehanded, this thing feels really nice. You can, I mean, you've already seen very open flow through kind of design. So if you are using it, you know, out and about, very easy to keep clean. Not a lot of chance for filth to build up in there and muck up the works. So let's just see. So this is, I've been doing light switch, and it flips like a champ with light switch. Let's do push button just for the hell of it. Yeah, push button works pretty good too. So no matter what your personal, you know, style of flippering is, it works pretty well. And action is just so smooth. Could do that all day long. La paper. Oops, didn't quite finish that one. It feels pretty nice. I would, you can just about barely feel it go through. I might want to just hit this, you know, on the strop just a little bit. I think is all it would need right out of the box to have a perfect razor's edge on there. Very easy, super clean. I kind of want to feel the slice on the, let's see. Yeah, slice is awesome. Barely even goes, has to travel. Let's get the fore end on a push. Oh, nice. A little bit of effort there, but whoa, that is a deep gouge into this cutting mat. Yeah, I would want to run it on a little bit of a strop, I think. But it's, great cutting edge right out of the box. Ready to go. I love that you can use it kind of in a utility fashion with the sort of a semi. It's almost, I don't want to say sponto because that's kind of that's a hinderer thing, but it almost is like a sponto kind of edge, and you got some good utility value there. But for your everyday EDC tasks, I think this is an awesome choice. I love what Off-Grid, has to offer. Really cool stuff, and I love working with Carrie. We've actually collaborated on a bunch of stuff at Patriot Armory and Coatings with him to do some limited run stuff, and just bouncing around ideas for different product things. He's a really cool dude, and you can talk to him about products that you think, improvements, ideas. He's another one of those company owners that really values input from the customer, and that's one of the things I like about dealing with him and his company the most. I know that 70 is, to some people that is a pretty expensive knife. I recognize that. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have $70 to throw down on a knife. And I don't mean to make it like a big, kind of a cavalier statement that, it's only $70. But, I remember back in my, younger days as an Army PV2, if I wanted something like this, I would definitely have to, do some saving and stuff for it for a little bit. But quality gear is worth the price you pay for it. I've always said it's a much better plan to shell out some bucks for a good knife that's going to last you years and years than to pay, $10, $15 multiple times for stuff that's just going to break and that you're going to have to keep replacing. But anyway, cool blade to check out. Really think people are going to like this one. If you did like, if you were fortunate enough to get your hands on the Mamba and you liked it, absolutely check out the Viper. If you saw the Mamba and wanted one and you were like, hey, that's really cool, but I don't have that kind of money to throw around, check out the Viper. Definitely a cool option, an alternative. And I would put this up against, Spyderco, ZT at Benchmade, of similar materials and stuff, and absolutely stand by the quality of how these things are made compared to those. So now it is time for your thoughts and opinions and comments, because I would love to know what you guys think. If this is of interest to anybody thinking of maybe grabbing one of these. Anybody out there already have one and want to share some information or stories or anything like that? Ready, go. Very shortly, you'll see a review on some more Off-Grid and Buck and Bear and a Leatherman free knife. It's not free. It's the name of the knife. It's not a free knife. Free hat. Anyway, remember, guys, you are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will be back again real soon.